I mentioned how the big boy in the deck is the ace of spades. In fact, you know, he's the hardest card in the deck to work with. I know that sounds weird, and it was meant to sound that way. Let's see, there are 4 aces here. In fact, let me see. Have you heard of the phenomenon known as a twisting of the aces? I'll show you that right now. The ace of spades, as I mentioned, is the one card that is the hardest to control, as you can no doubt see already. In fact, if I just give him a little rub like that, then he changes into the ace of spades. So far, so good. Now let me give the cards that little twist. You see, when I twist like that, one card turns over. There's the first one, the ace of hearts. A little twist is all it takes. The next card turns over, the ace of clubs. Remember what I said, the ace of spades, that's the one that's the hardest to control. It sounds ridiculous, and it was meant to be. I count through the cards, and an ace turns over. I apologize, I forgot to actually twist. In fact, all I have to do is really merely tickle the cards. And you see when I tickle them, one card turns over, the ace of diamonds. But last but not least, the ace of spades. You see, the ace of spades is such a stubborn little card. No amount of twisting will ever do any trick to him. You see, the ace of spades must be tricked in a different fashion. So if we just kind of pretend this mystery is all done, and we look around, you see then he peeks over his shoulder to see if we aren't looking. The phenomenon of the twisting. I thank you.
Eric.
And I thank you. This is a classic mystery with the 4 aces, the twisting of the aces. The method I use, my own handling of it, you can see the order of the cards. What's most important is the 2 black aces are in this position, the ace of spades being second down, and then the 2 red ones. Diamond could be here or a heart here, either one. I have spoken about the aces. I turn them over into my hand, talking about the peculiarities of these aces. Once you have turned these face down, the audience will not remember the order of these aces, so don't worry about that. I square these cards up, talking about the ace of spades, and I am now going to do a triple lift, which is quite easy when you're only holding 4 cards. See, all I have to do is with my index finger here, just somewhat buckle this card like this, and that separates it very widely at the back like this. I can now flip over 3 cards as I continue talking about my ace of spades. Now, of course, that isn't the ace of spades, and that is part of your presentation. I now look down at that card, oops, and remember there are 3 cards reversed here. I now do a glide. As my hand turns over, I'm going to use the little finger and glide back that ace of hearts. I now draw off the next card, which is actually the ace of spades, place it out here onto the table, and as I'm doing this and pushing it forward, I allow these cards to square back in my left hand. So as I'm pushing this forward, these cards are squared. I'm pushing this forward to draw attention to that apparent ace of hearts. I give it a little rub on the table, and there's the first quick revelation. The ace of spades has made its appearance. This card goes underneath as follows to hide and cover these. You have just referenced how the ace of spades is the most peculiar of the 4 aces. I now turn the pack face down, and the audience should believe at this point that, of course, all 4 cards are face down. 2 aces in the middle. You now effect an Elmsley count. As I count through these cards, in the Elmsley count, of course, 1 card, the ace of hearts, will make its appearance. You see, just by giving the cards a twist, and I would have twisted them just a moment ago, the ace of hearts turns over, face up. The first amazing revelation. I give them a twist again, and now you just Elmsley count straight, and take a peek. The ace of clubs has turned over. This is the ace of spades in my hand here. This, of course, is the situation in my left hand. The audience has just seen 3 face-down cards and the face-up ace of clubs. I now remind my audience, I say, remember the ace of spades. This is the most peculiar card in the pack. This card now goes to the very back of the pack, and I turn the entire pack face down in my hand. As I turn these cards over, as you just saw here, apparently I'm straightening out the group each time. That's what it appears to be in the spectator's mind. But at this point, a quick checkpoint, you would see the ace of diamonds is reversed for our next revelation. It is also in the 3rd position down where the card hidden by an Elmsley count would normally be hidden. In fact, I count the cards without a twist at this point in Elmsley count, and apparently everything is face down. The last card I put underneath, that's an underground Elmsley. I give them a twist, then I slide back the top card, and now I'm going to do a Christ Animan alignment move. Those are 2 names of some famous magicians. I slide the top card back. This thumb is going to go at this edge, and I'm going to push with my middle finger this 2nd card out. What this does is it aligns up these cards at the bottom, as you can see, leaving that 1 card protruding. My index finger of my left hand is going to hit these 2 cards right here. And as I now click the front, my left index finger pushes out. Apparently, as if magically, it's causing the ace of diamonds to turn over. It's a very nice little move because the ace of diamonds has that animated look about it. You see just a little click, and you see the ace of diamonds turns over. Remember, that's 2 cards. So I grab these 2 cards, flip this face up, and just deposit it here. The ace of spades is hidden on the back. I now apparently straighten everything out once again. Now remember where the ace of spades actually is. The last ace, which you are about to show turn over, of course you do a standard Elmsley count, last one goes to the bottom, and you're puzzled why the fact that the ace didn't turn over. So you give it a quick twist, count again. This last card in your hand you can turn over with that look of being puzzled once again. That goes underneath. Now you say, and remember the ace is right there, let's place them onto the table for a moment and just act as though we're uninterested in the ace of spades. He will then take a peek over his shoulder. You now spread the cards for the last revelation, and there it is, the ace of spades. That's twisting the aces. Remember, sometimes an audience may wish to look at those cards, so just leave them on the table. Allow your audience to touch them if they like. The classic twisting the aces.